Hey Mixers, welcome back to another WNBA player props video. We have been waiting for this Sunday 4-game slate all week long. We just finished the Valkyries Aces game, which we expected to be very low scoring, and it ended up being the highest scoring game of the WNBA season so far, over 200 points scored between both teams. So that didn't work out too well for us, but I do have 6 best bets for you today. 6. So to get in the mix today, you just need to comment hashtag in the mix, pick 2 of those 6 best bets. You cannot choose the leans, pick 2 of the best bets, and you'll be in the mix to win that $10. We did give that away 4 days in a row, and then we've just had 2 bad days on Friday, Saturday, so we didn't quite get like a full sweep on our best bets like we have been getting, but I've got 6 for you in tomorrow's game, so let's jump into it. All right, guys, so Friday, our best bets went 2 and 1. 1 and 2. All right, guys, so Friday, our best bets went 1 and 2. Brianna Jones over 6.5 rebounds. She had 3 in the first quarter, but she got in early foul trouble, and she was in and out of the game, but she just never got another rebound the whole rest of the game. So she killed us there. You know, a lot of people were on that play, which I usually try to avoid the popular plays. I think I told you that in the video when we made the play that she was going to be very popular, but I went with her anyway, and she did not cash for us. Erica Wheeler only shot 3 3-pointers against the Sun and missed all of them. I mean, she was miserable. She barely got, I think she made 1 basket the whole game. And then Natasha Howard over 15.5 points and rebounds. She did get us there with 16. That was an added play in the pinned comment. But in the video, I did tell you that I was planning to add her as soon as her points and rebounds line came out the next morning. And then our 2 leans, I just got murdered on the leans. Ryan Howard over 24.5 PRA. Obviously, she left the game with an injury. I was hoping she would just stay out, but she did come back into the game, ended up leaving again, so she didn't get there for us. And then Allisha Gray over 3.5 assists. She only had 2. I don't know what happened there. I mean, I watched the game, so I know Allisha Gray was horrible. She barely shot any shots. She didn't make any of the shots she did take. She wasn't rebounding. She wasn't assisting. I don't even know why she was on the court. She was just standing there half the time. So we're going to go right back to her today, though. And then Friday, we went 1 and 1, so not as bad. Both of our best bets ended at 39, but unfortunately, one of them was an under and one was an over. So Nafisa Kalia over 31.5 PRA. She had 39, and I told you I would play this up to 33.5. I also told you that she would probably be a promo today. She was a promo on Better, and I did take that promo, and that also cashed. Then Jackie Young under 26.5 PRA. She had 39, so she killed us. Asia and Jackie Young both just played like beasts, and obviously we expected this to be a low-scoring game, and the total went over 200. So when the total goes over 200s, your unders are just going to be chalked. And then our leans, we actually did okay. Veronica Burton over 15.5 points and assists. She had 8 assists and 11 points, but she got those points late, so that was a sweat. And then Jewel Lloyd, this was the sweatiest one, under 18.5 points and rebounds. She only had 2 at halftime. So I was like, man, we got this. And then in the third quarter, she got up to 17. And then luckily, in the fourth quarter, she did nothing. And then I was afraid the game might go into overtime. So anyway, that was very sweaty, but we did cash that lean. And then Asia Wilson under 9.5 rebounds. I added this like an hour before the game as soon as she was ruled in the pinned comment. Under 9.5 rebounds, she had 16. So that was obviously a really bad call. It wasn't a bad call. She just hasn't been rebounding as much ever since they got Alyssa Smith onto the team. But the game went over 200. So, and Asia was playing like a beast. So there's nothing you can do about that. Moving along, wiping those 2 games out of our memories, we have a huge slate coming up tomorrow. So there's 4 games. There's some great matchups. We got a lot of stars playing. And so let's just jump into it. Our first best bet is going to be Paige Bueckers over 16.5 points. I have seen this go up to 17.5 points already on some books. So I want to grab it at 16.5, although I imagine we'll probably get a Paige promo tomorrow, and I will most likely be taking that. Obviously, I can't say I will be taking it until I know what it's going to be, but most likely I'll be taking any Paige promos that come out tomorrow. She's over a 9 of 16, and the lowest points line we've seen for her is 16.5. So normally she's at 17.5, 18.5. I've seen her at 19.5 before. I don't think I've ever seen her at 16.5, except maybe at the beginning of the season. She did have 27 points against the Fever without Caitlin Clark the last time they played, and Arike is back in this game. So she should be able to split that defense so that Paige isn't just getting smothered. Because Arike is also a very good player. So, the Wings will be happy to have her back. The next play, we're taking the opposite side of the ball. Caitlin Clark over 16.5 points. I don't know if you'll still be able to get this. She's at 17.5 on a lot of books. There's a promo on Sleeper for 16.5 for Caitlin Clark for 2x payout. And I already took it, but I don't know if it's still going to be available. So as soon as you see this video, go check Sleeper, see if that Caitlin Clark 16.5 2x payout is still available. She's over in 6 of 11, but the Wings let people shoot threes, and Caitlin shoots threes. So she's coming off 3 bad games. They're playing at home, and her 3 bad games that she lost against were against top 6 defenses. So now she's playing a bottom 6 defense, and who gives up a lot of threes. So Caitlin should be just fine here. I expect her to go over her points line easily. Next, we have Breanna Stewart over 19.5 points. She's over in 9 of 19 games and under in the last 3, so she's kind of due for a good game. She's already been over twice against the Dream, and the Dream give up the most of their points in the paint, the restricted area, and this is where Breanna Stewart does her damage. The last 6 players, similar to Stewie, all went over their lines. So Aaliyah Boston had 19, Monique Billings had 19, NECA had 24, Stewie had 21, Nafisa Collier had 26, and then Arike had 21. So the last 6 people to go up against the Dream, who score primarily in the paint, all went over their lines. So I expect Stewie to have another monster game tomorrow, on Sunday. And then next we have Shakira Austin. She is our thumbnail, over 13.5 points. This opened at 14.5 points, and then it came out at 13.5 points. So I don't know what's going on there. But she's over in 7 of 17 games, and her minutes have been ticking way up. She's over in 6 of the last 8 games. So Seattle just got lit up by Tina Charles for 29. Brianna Jones went over her line with 18. Stewie did not have a good game against them. So that's one thing to consider. But Shakira Austin should be able to have a good game against this Seattle Storm team. I'm counting on it, and she is our best bet. She's our thumbnail. So I'm most confident in this bet out of all of them. And then our last, I still have 3 more best bets. Holy cow. I have a lot today. Gabby Williams over 17.5 points and assists. She's over in 13 of 21 games, over in 7 of the last 10 games. She only needs to hit her points line or her assist line, and she can hook the other one and will still go over. So that's what I like about this 17.5 line. If that number goes up to 18.5, then I would probably just take the assists or just take the points, whichever you feel more confident about. Her normal points line is 12.5, and her points line today is 13.5. So maybe it's the assists that you play. I'm not really sure. I like the points and the assists combined. So I'm not really sure where she's going to go off, but I think it's going to be points. So that's where I would lean if I had to choose between points and assists. And then our last best bet is Allisha Gray over 25.5 PRA. She's over in 13 of 20 games, 8 of the last 12, and she had 24 and 35 in the last 2 head-to-head games against the Liberty. Jonquel Jones most likely won't be playing, but that means that she should be able to get a few more rebounds. If Jonquel Jones was playing, she wouldn't be able to get her rebounds, but the Liberty give most of their points above the break. So they give away a lot of threes, and that's where Allisha likes to score. So I think she has a bounce back game after that horrible, horrible game against the Fever, just barely, against this Liberty team who honestly is not good without Jonquel Jones. Like, Jonquel Jones leads their defense. They have a great offense. They have some really good players. Like Breanna Stewart, I think is great. Sabrina is great when she's on. But their defense has been really, really suffering without Jonquel Jones. And then let's give you a couple of leans. I've got 3 of them here for you. Kelsey Mitchell over 1.5 3-pointers made. She's over in 13 of 21 games. The Wings give up a lot of threes because they defend the paint like crazy. And in recent games, a lot of people have been able to go over this line. So Sonia Citron had 3 and 4 in her 2 games. Ryan Howard had 5. Jewel Lloyd had 5. Sammy Whitcomb had 7 just barely. So they give up a lot of 3-pointers. That's why I think Caitlin's going to have no problem against the Wings, but I also think Kelsey Mitchell can get in there for a couple of 3-pointers. And then our next lean is Brittney Sykes over 14.5 points. Remember that we already bet on Shakira Austin, so if you prefer Shakira, go with her. I'm betting on both of them. Over 14.5 points. She's over in 10 of 17 games, and lately she has not been playing well. So that is why we're seeing this lowered line. But Brittney Sykes likes to, I mean, she's aggressive, so she'll dribble into the paint and take a shot, or take some layups. And that is where this team is weak against. The Seattle Storm are pretty good at defending the 3-pointer, but they're not good at defending in the paint. So that's why we took Shakira Austin, and that's why we're taking Brittney Sykes as well. Now, remember, guys, my leans, I bet my leans, but my leans I don't feel as confident in as my best bets, which is why I just put them as leans. I just want to tell you what I'm betting so that you kind of know where my head is at, and that you can kind of get a really good idea and a big picture of what I'm looking at and what I'm betting and what I'm thinking. So our last lean here is Azure Stevens over 12.5 points. Honestly, I like all of the Sparks except Kelsey Plum to go over their points lines. So you can kind of just pick and choose which one you like. Hamby's points line is 15.5. I think that's kind of high. Azure Stevens and Rakia Jackson are both at 12.5. So I like either one of them really, really well. Azure Stevens here is over in 10 of 20 games, but she's over in 6 of the last 10 games. And the reason why I like these Sparks players over in this matchup is because the Sun have just given up a ton of points to Gabby Williams and NECA, and so in the paint. So the 3-point shots were not falling for the Storm. I don't know if that's going to be true of the Sparks as well, but I do know that those aggressive players in the paint should be able to get their opportunities. Now, I already told you the Sun are on my banned list, so I hesitate to make any bets in this game against the Sun, but I know that the Sparks want to play really, really hard for their shot at the playoffs, because they're probably going to miss the playoffs. But if they played really, really hard, they could sneak in as the last team in the playoffs. They'd have to catch Chicago. So I think every single game matters to them. I think they're going to fight really hard to win this one. I don't know if the Sun are on that same page, but they just played the Storm really tough. So I don't know which way this game is going to go. I assume the Sparks are going to win because they're going to play really hard, but this is just too low of a line for Azure Stevens, who should have a lot of opportunities in this game. All right, guys, so let's review that because I know that was a lot. We have 6 best bets. Paige Bueckers over 16.5 points. Caitlin Clark over 16.5 points. Shakira Austin over 13.5 points. Gabby Williams over 17.5 points and assists. Allisha Gray over 25.5 PRA. And Brianna Stewart over 19.5 points. Our leans are Kelsey Mitchell over 1.5 3-pointers made. Brittney Sykes over 14.5 points. And Azure Stevens over 12.5 points. I will put any added plays in the pinned comment. I will also try to put them on X, but they will always be in the pinned comment on YouTube. What I need you to do, if you want to put your name in the running for that cash prize that we like to give out, is, obviously make sure you're subscribed, like the video, comment, hashtag in the mix, choose 2 of our best bets. You may not choose the leans. You have to choose 2 of the best bets to hit. And if those 2 bets hit, then you, along with anyone else who also were correct, will be entered into a randomizer, and someone will randomly win that money. As soon as we get to our next subscriber milestone of 500, that money prize will go up from $10 to $15, and it will keep going up every subscriber milestone that we hit. Thank you, guys. This has been a really fun hobby of mine doing this, and I love connecting with you guys. I love talking ball, and of course, I love watching the games, and I love betting on the games. So thank you for allowing me to do this for you guys. Thanks.